I gotta say something, guys. If you have any young ones around listening, you might want to have them exit stage left, cover their ears, tell them to pay attention to something else, because what we're about to talk about here is something that isn't for their ears. I'll say that. Now, there was recently something that was uncovered within our government that is quite wild. I can't say I'm completely shocked, considering there was a situation where we had two men that were caught having sex. I'm sure you guys remember that. There was like a tape that leaked, or a photo at least, that was going around. I think I made a video on that a while back. One of the guys was fired, obviously, but I don't believe that was enough. I mean, to be doing something like that is pretty wild. Well, I'll just let Jesse Waters take it away. Let's dive in.
Journalist Chris Rufo just uncovered a deep state sex chat at the National Security Agency. Chat logs show intel officials were using a chat room to share their fetishes and kinks and brag about getting sex changes. And it goes back 2 years, a transgender sex chat while they were on the clock. When you think about it, this was a taxpayer-funded transgender sex chat. Here's a taste, viewer warning. This one guy had just had his manhood surgically removed. One of the weirdest things that gives me euphoria is when I pee. I don't have to push anything down to make sure it aims right. Here's another. Getting my blank zapped by a laser was shocking. Fine, I'll just do one more. This one guy's talking about how excited he is that the bulge is gone and he can wear bikinis after his sex change surgeries. I know. And these are intel officials. These people are in charge of guarding the nation's deepest secrets and spying on our enemies. How mentally tough are these people if they're having doctors chop off their body parts and then celebrating it on a work computer? Do you know how easy it is to blackmail somebody like that? Do you know how China or Russia or the Iranians, what they would do if they got their hands on this? First, they'd laugh, but then they'd compromise every single one of these reckless agents. Elon asked, "What did you accomplish at work last week?" "I sexted with my colleagues about pouring hot wax on my nipples." This is what happens when 96% of the federal workforce works from home. They're having sex change surgeries while they're working from home, and their bosses don't even know about it.
And this is what happens when there's no true oversight. When there's no one being held accountable. If you want to chop off your twigs and berries, and you're an adult, by all means, do your thing. I don't care. It's your body, not mine, right? But when you're doing this type of stuff on the taxpayer's dime while you're on the clock, I find a huge problem with that. I don't care what it is that you were talking about. You could have been talking about the sunshine and the rainbows. If you ain't working while you're getting paid by my tax dollars and yours, that is a problem. Once again, I don't care what you're talking about. You could be talking about rhinos and elephants. I don't give a shit. But if you're not working while my tax dollars are paying you, that's a problem. And this is why Democrats did not want this whole Doge situation happening. This is part of the reason why they were fighting so hard. This is one of the reasons why they didn't want to come back to the office. You remember Trump said, hey, everybody's got to come back to the office now. There's no more remote working here in D.C. Come on back to the office. We got empty buildings that we're paying for. Why are we paying for these buildings if y'all not here? Get your butts back here. Get back in these offices now. And Democrats lost their mind. Oh, no. Well, we now have a reason why. They were at home chilling, having all types of conversations. Yip-yapping and jaw-jacking, not working. Goodness gracious, it's ridiculous.
I bet we paid for those sex change surgeries. And then they're all in the group chat all day. Hey, how was your operation? Mine was great. Still a little sore, but now I can live my own truth.
If you don't report to work, that's another scam. Who the hell, if I'm staying home, let's see, my golf handicap would get down to very low number. You'd be shocked if I told you the real number. But I would be so good, I'd try and get on tour. I would be so good. I'd call up, I'd say, listen, I'm really working here. Where are my clubs? Where are my clubs?
The Senate's even being put to work. Majority Leader Thune is making senators work late into the night. And ready? They're working on Fridays now. Yeah. And no surprise, senators are already complaining. They want to go home. Democrat Senator Mark Kelly, also a pilot, says he used to rent a plane and fly himself home every Friday. Alas, he's barely flown on that plane this year. He says, unless I want to do it on the weekend, and that's if I get back on the weekend. We're $36 trillion in debt because of guys like that.
Facts. Because of Democrats, 36 trillion. What a shame. Postmillennial says, hold on, let me fix that. NSA vows to take action against workers who were talking kink, sex changes, polyamory, fetishes in government chat room. Goodness gracious. Christopher Rufo revealed on X in a new report out from City Journal that employees at the NSA have been involved in explicit conversations in a government, I repeat, in government chat rooms while on the clock. See, that is where the problem lies. See, I know Democrats are going to try to spin this as, oh, you hate this group, you hate that group. Now, while I may not agree with what certain groups do, I don't hate anybody. What I don't like, and what I will say I hate, is when people waste our tax dollars. And this right here is an absolute waste. Government chat rooms while on the clock. While they are being paid by our tax dollars, they're sitting on their lazy behinds doing nothing. Yip yapping and jaw jacking. And yet we're supposed to feel bad that Elon and Trump want to downsize the government. We're supposed to feel bad when some of these folks lose their jobs. Not at all. Not at all. I am just... I guess I will say I am a little happy that we have Tulsi Gabbard, because this is what she had to say about that entire situation.
Well, Jesse, what we're going to do has already been done. There are over 100 people from across the intelligence community that contributed to and participated in this, what is really just an egregious violation of trust. What to speak of like basic rules and standards around professionalism. I put out a directive today that they all will be terminated and their security clearances will be revoked. But the thing here, Jesse, is like we got to take a step back, because this is just barely scratching the surface. When you see what these people were saying, and thanks to Chris Rufo for putting it all out online, they were brazen in using an NSA platform intended for professional use to conduct this kind of really horrific behavior. And they were brazen in doing this because when was the last time anyone was really held accountable? Certainly not over the last 4 years, certainly not over the last 10, maybe 20 years. When we look at some of the biggest violations of the American people's trust in the intelligence community. So today's action in holding these individuals accountable is just the beginning of what we're seeing across the Trump administration, which is carrying out the mandate the American people gave him. Clean house, root out that rot and corruption and weaponization and politicization, so we can start to rebuild that trust in these institutions that are charged with an important mission of serving the American people, ensuring our safety, security, and freedom.
Yeah. So those people are going to be terminated and have their security clearance revoked, which that is the right thing to do. Anybody and everybody surrounding that or those chats should be fired immediately. Immediately. If you want to have those types of conversations in your off time, on your private, in your private little chat rooms that aren't government chats, by all means, you're an adult. I'm sure I do some things that other people disagree with, right? That's fine. We're, like I said, we're all adults. You can do what you want. But what you can't do is sit on your butt, yip yap and jaw jack about a bunch of, I don't even want to get back into it, on our dime. It's ridiculous. And then yell and scream when Trump says, yeah, we need to downsize the government. We need Elon to go in there and figure out what's going on. We're wasting money. And as a matter of fact, send us back an email, reply back to that email that was sent out, and tell us what you did this week. Tell us what you accomplished. A lot of government employees were losing their minds. Oh no, we can't do that. Why can't you? Is it because you were just sitting on your ass the whole time? I'm just asking. That's a fair question. Because in any other occupation or job, you're expected to do what your job outlines. And if you don't do that, you're going to have a sit down chat with your boss. And if you continue to not meet your requirements, you will be fired. Why can't we hold our government employees to that same standard? I mean, you mean to tell me you can't outline 5 things you got accomplished in an entire week? 1 thing per day that you did? You can't say that? Like that, it's really that difficult for you to do? If it is, then maybe you shouldn't be there in the first place. If you can't simply outline 5 things, that's easy. That shouldn't take any more than 5 minutes. For some folks, probably less than that. You can't take 5 minutes out of your day? That tells me you haven't been working. You've been doing a bunch of nothing. That's what you've been doing. That's the problem. But anyway, man, I just came across that story and thought it was just absolutely wild. Wild, you know? Once again, Trump was right. Our tax dollars are being completely wasted. People just sitting around doing a bunch of nothing. And listen, don't get me wrong. That's just one instance that we know about, that we found out about. I'm sure there are other ways. Listen, matter of fact, I saw a video, I think it was this morning or yesterday, of a government employee talking about how easy it is for someone to basically scam the system, right? They have these type of devices. So let me backtrack a little bit. So for the computers that they have, if you're not doing something on the computer, it'll like go to sleep after 5 minutes. And that like gets reported. Okay. But they have things that will circumvent that will keep the computer active and make it seem like you're still working when in reality you aren't. So you could just be doing God knows what, doing errands in a chat room, going to your yoga class, right? Wherever, while this device is making it seem like you're still sitting at your computer when you're not. And that I have a problem with. Like I said, if you want to do whatever, be in your chat rooms, you know, when you're off the clock, by all means, have all the chat room sex conversations you want. Hey, more power to you. Congratulations, right? But on the taxpayer dime, on the clock, in a government chat, absolutely not. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And I think 95% of this country will agree with that. 95. 100%. But anyway, thanks for tuning in as always. Peace and love. Man. And Democrats are going to try to spin this as a hate campaign. Watch. I guarantee it. They're going to try to spin this as some hate campaign. Oh, you guys hate this. You guys hate that group. No, we don't hate any groups of people. You hate us, but we don't hate you at all. We don't like you wasting our tax dollars, though. I'm out.